Right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to yoga. Please sit comfortably while we get centered. And for today, as you sit tall, go ahead and shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, take them behind you, and then set them down, feeling some elongation in your spine, the crown lifting toward the ceiling. And become aware of your breath here as you're sitting, flowing in and out, and feeling the connection of the floor beneath you, that support of the earth. If you want to, as you inhale, you can imagine that you're drawing in energy from the base of your body up through the spine to the crown of your head. That's your inhale. And the exhale, it just washes all back down, back into the earth. Inhale, energy from the earth, that's supportive, grounding energy flowing up to the crown of the head. And then exhale, feeling it flush back down and out. And just see that happen several more times. Bring in grounding and stability, connection, rootedness, and washing away anything that is not that. And just a few more of these grounding breaths, feeling that earth energy beneath you. Good. And then taking a deeper, fuller breath, please. Bring your palms together in front of you and bow the chin and just honor yourself as you are right now in this moment. And it's from this moment that we will practice tonight. Go ahead and rub palms together, creating heat. And bring those warm palms over your eyes and face, gently brushing over the top of your head and down your neck, welcoming yourself back to the room. All right, so today we're going to begin on hands and knees. So go ahead and move any props you're using off to the side for now. Good. Now we're going to be on hands and knees in some variation for a little bit. So if you feel like you need some support underneath the knees, like a folded blanket, go ahead and bring that there now. But with your hands under your shoulders, knees beneath the hips, inhale, look forward, feel the tailbone lift. Then exhale, go ahead and sink back into child's pose. Inhale, come back up, hands and knees, heart looks forward, tail lifts. And then exhale again, child's pose, sinking back, seat to the heels and forehead toward the floor. And just continue to move between these two postures on your breath, warming up the spine, hips, shoulders, and linking your breath and movement. Good. A couple more times. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. Good. And then come back up to hands and knees. And just go ahead and sway the hips from side to side gently. We're just getting warmed up here, so this might not be that big of a movement. That's okay. We're doing some hip work tonight, so just gently inviting in some of that movement. Good. Then go ahead and sink back to child's pose. And feeling your hips sink towards your heels, gently walk your hands off of the left side of your yoga mat, reaching through the right arm. Think about the right hip sinking toward its heel here, and you can relax the head. Length along the right side of the body, all the way down by the waist. Good. Then gently walk the hands back to center, and let's go off the right side of your yoga mat, reaching through the left arm and hand, feeling the left hip sink toward its heel. That length on the left side this time. Again, all the way down toward your waist and hip. Good. All right. Then carefully walk the hands back to center. Inhale up to hands and knees. Good. I'm going to turn on my mat, but you can keep facing the way you're facing now. This is just for demonstration purposes. All right. So from hands and knees, please step your left foot out to the side and bring that foot flat to the floor. Now the leg is directly in line with both hip bones, so straight out to the side, not forward or back. Grounding through the pinky edge of the left foot. Roll the shoulders down the back. Look forward with your chest, and then feel the tailbone lift or turn toward the ceiling behind you. Good. Now keep the tailbone lifting, and then just glide backwards. You'll feel that on the inner thigh here. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale again, gliding backwards. Keep the tail lifting as much as you can. And just go in and out a few more times, just gliding back a little bit, feeling that stretch on the inner thigh. Might feel particularly tight. Gliding back. Good. And then glide back to your furthest point, however far you can go today. Keep the tailbone lifting. We're going to stay for about 3 to 5 breaths. It really just depends on how quickly you're breathing or not breathing. Good. Inhale, come back up. Let's stay where we're at. We're going to sink sideways into the hip here. So you can keep your hands where they're at. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, bend the left knee, sink to the side. Inhale, straighten the leg, come back up. And we're going to do that several more times. Exhale, sinking in. Being gentle with yourself as we get into the hips here. Exhale, bend the left knee, sink to the side. Back up. Just a few more times. Good. Now, as you sink into the pose this time, go ahead and stay. Your hands can stay where they're at, but if you feel like you need some more stability, you can walk your hands to the left. And breathe, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. Good. And then straighten the left leg. Walk your hands back to center if you need to, and then bring the left leg back to center. Let's go to child's pose. Feeling a difference between the two sides here. And then we will balance out that work. So back up to hands and knees. Take the right foot out to the side. Again, the leg comes straight out from the hip, grounding through the pinky edge of that right foot. Hands underneath your shoulders. Roll the shoulders down the back. Chest looks forward slightly, tailbone lifts, and then just glide backwards. Then inhale, come up. And just keep going. Keep the tailbone lifting, feeling that stretch on your inner thigh here. Just a couple more times. Keep the tail lifting. Now, as you sink back this time, go ahead and stay at your furthest point. Keep grounding through the pinky edge of the right foot. Breathe. Good. Then inhale back up. Keep the right leg out to the side. We'll do our side hip stretch now. Good. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend the right knee, sink down. Inhale, come back up. Couple more times. Sink in. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do three more. Good. As you sink into that hip this time, go ahead and stay. You can walk your hands to the right if you need to, or even if you just want to. It's up to you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Go ahead and step the leg in child's pose once again, sinking back. Staying for a breath or two. Good. And then inhale back up to hands and knees. We're going to do one more exercise with the leg stepping out to the sides. So go ahead and step your left leg out again, grounding the foot. Again, the leg comes straight out from the hip. And then bring your right hand underneath your face or chin. Your left arm extends out to the sides, palm face down. Take a deep breath in here. With your exhale, sweep the left arm into the air and twist, coming into gate pose. Inhale, unwind, left arm parallel to the floor. Exhale, twist. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Two more times. Good. And as you twist this time, we'll stay again for 3 to 5 breaths. Rolling the left shoulder back here. Good. Then inhale, unwind. Left hand to the floor, step the left leg in, and we'll switch sides. Right leg goes out to the side, ground the foot. Bring the left hand under your face. Right arm out to the side, palm face down. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, sweep the right arm into the air and twist. Inhale, unwind. And exhale, twist. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Couple more times. And then coming into the twist to hold. Take the right shoulder back. Breathe. Good. Inhale, unwind. Bringing the right hand to the floor, hands under your shoulders. Bring the right leg in, child's pose. Once again. Good. From child's pose, go ahead and slither forward down onto your abdomen. Hands are underneath your shoulders, elbows bending and squeezing in. Let's work a little bit with locust pose here. So, with your next inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, peel the chest and head away from the floor, and lift the thighs off the ground. Good. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, float back up, locust pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. We're going to hold the pose this time. Inhale, squeeze on up, locust pose. Now keep the chest lifting. Inhale, take the legs wide. Exhale, squeeze them together. Inhale, take the legs wide. Exhale, squeeze them together. Let's do three more. Take them wide. Exhale, squeeze the legs. Inhale, wide. Squeeze the legs one more time. Take the legs wide. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the legs together. Lift up to your highest point. And then exhale slowly. Lower down. Good. Take an adjusting breath. It might not feel like it, but your back did like that. Good. So from here, let's come up onto our elbows, Sphinx pose. And just as a transition so that we can do a stretch for the quadriceps or the tops of our thighs. So keeping the chest lifting here, go ahead and cross your right arm in front of you and bend your left knee, the heel coming in toward your seat. With your left hand, reach back and grab the base of your toes. So not the toes, not the ankle, but the base of the toes. Good. Once you have that connection, your left hip bone's popping up off the ground now. Roll it back down to the floor, and then begin to draw the left heel in toward your left hip. Keep the chest lifting here. And breathe. Relax your jaw and face. Clenching your face won't help stretch your quadricep, unfortunately. Good of you to try, though. Just a couple more breaths. Keep the left hip grounding. Then don't slingshot the foot to the floor. Slowly release it. Crossing the left arm forward. You can drop the head for a moment. Take a breath. Notice sensation in that left thigh. And let's replicate that to the best of our ability on the other side. So lifting the chest, go ahead and cross the left arm in front of you to keep the chest lifting. Bend the right knee. Reach back and grab the base of the toes on the right foot. With an exhale, roll the left hip back down to the ground and then begin to guide the right heel toward the right hip. And we're breathing. Again, relax the face, relax the jaw. It's interesting that when we find ourselves in discomfort that we just effort even harder. We create tension in places where we don't need to hold tension. Keep the chest lifting. We're almost done. 3, 2, and again, don't slingshot it. Just gently release the foot to the floor. Cross your arms in front of you and bring your forehead to the backs of the arms. Good. Now, go ahead and bend both knees. And then just windshield wiper the legs from side to side, feeling that movement all the way up into the hip socket. Side to side to side. And breathe with that. Side to side. This is good for just helping to relieve the hips and the lower back. Good. All right, go ahead and relax the legs. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl the toes under, push up to hands and knees, and then lift into downward facing dog. And it's our first down dog, so let's walk it out a bit. Pedaling the feet, feeling length in the spine. Stretching one leg, then the other. Breathe. And then maybe stop on one leg and just stay. Then after a few breaths, switch to the other leg and stay. Good, and straighten both legs. With your inhale, flow forward through the spine into plank pose. With your exhale, feel a tug behind your navel that pulls you back into downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Inhale, flowing forward, plank pose. Exhale, pull back into down dog. We're gonna do 3 more of those. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You guessed it, we're gonna hold. Inhale. Staying in the pose, 3 to 5 breaths. Try to keep the hips in line with your shoulders. Don't let them dip. Keep the lymph lifting. Deep breath in. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And from here, carefully walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into the standing forward fold. Releasing the head, the neck, the shoulders. Just let the upper body drape over the legs. Good. Now staying in the forward fold for this next exercise, bend your knees until your fingertips touch the ground if they don't do that already. All right? Now with your fingertips on the ground, just walk your fingertips to the left side of your left foot. Good. Once you're there, let the head release. And then think about straightening the right knee. You might not be able to straighten it all the way, but just feel that right hip start to lift toward the ceiling. And then walk your fingertips back to center. Let's do the other side. Fingertips to the right side of the right foot. Release the head. And then start to think about lifting the left hip or straightening the left knee. All right, walk your fingertips back to center. And then press palms to shins, come halfway up, chest parallel to the floor, looking down. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale with a strong back, sweep the arms out to the side and lift all the way up to standing and palms to the heart. Feel sensation. It's happening in the body, particularly the lower back and the hips. All right. So we're going to do a bit more work with the hips because that's just where we're going tonight. Please take your feet nice and wide on your yoga mat. And today the toes are going to be pointing directly forward, not out to the side. If anything, you're pigeon toeing just a little bit. Okay. So sweeping the arms out to the sides once you're here. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, hinge at the hips and fold down over the legs. Inhale, reverse that. Sweep the arms out to the side, strong back. Lift yourself all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold all the way down. Let's keep it going. Inhale, lift. And lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower down. Staying in the forward fold this time. The knees are gently bending here. You never want to lock them. And depending on the level of access you have to your lower back and hamstrings, you might want to bring blocks underneath your hands if you have them handy. But I'll ask you to lift your chest parallel to the ground. So hands or fingertips on the floor or blocks. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, go ahead and bend your right knee. The knee comes forward here. Keep the left foot flat on the floor and sink into the side hip. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Then exhale, bend the left knee. Then inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the left knee. Keep that right foot flat on the floor. Inhale, straighten the leg. And then just keep going from side to side, okay? Stretching out the hips. You'll see why later. Now, the next time you sink into your right side, your right knee, go ahead and stay. You can, of course, walk your hands to the right if you'd like to. Keep that left foot grounding, especially the pinky edge. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh. And try to keep the chest parallel-ish to the floor. You just don't want to drop the head a bunch. Good. Inhale, straighten the right leg. And let's bend the left knee. You can walk your hands to the left if you'd like to as well here. Again, the chest is about parallel to the floor. And we're breathing, hopefully. Good. Inhale, straighten the left knee, and then exhale, fold forward. All right. So doing just a little bit more work here. Bring your hands or fingertips to the floor, blocks, lift yourself up halfway. We're going to move in and out of this pose a few times before we hold it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend both knees, sink down into a squat. Chest and hips are on the same level plane, parallel to the floor. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, sink back in again. Oof. Inhale, straighten the legs. Notice any tightness in the hips as you do this. Sink down, exhale. Inhale, straighten the legs. Two more times. Sink in. Straighten. You guessed it, we are going to be holding. So go ahead and sink on in the chest and the hips again on the same level plane, parallel to the floor. I'm going to challenge you a bit here. Bring your hands onto your ankles or shins and breathe and breathe and breathe. Staying for just a few more breaths. Good. Returning the hands to the floor. Carefully straighten the legs and fold forward. Taking an adjusting breath. Good. Now from the forward fold, just walk your hands as far to the right as you can. Especially reaching through that left hand. You might find that after a couple of breaths, you can reach a bit further. It's okay to bend the right knee a little bit here. It does not have to stay straight. Good. Then walk the hands back to center and then see how far to the left you can reach. It's okay to bend the left knee a bit, reaching through that right arm. Like the first side, you might be able to reach a bit further after a couple of breaths. And then carefully walk the hands back to center, folding forward. Sweep the arms out to the side, nice strong back as you lift all the way up. And then release the arms. Right, good. Go ahead and step the legs together for a moment. And as I did that, I think we might need a forward fold, just a nice, not wide leg, symmetrical fold. Just go ahead and do that really quickly. Good, and then go ahead and bring yourself back up to standing. And relax for a moment as I demonstrate this next pose. So, this one's kind of deep. It's frog pose, everybody's favorite. To do this pose, you'll stand next to your mat just like I'm standing, off of one of the sides, okay? And I'm going to come into a wide leg stance, not on the mat, but just off the back of it, all right? This way that when we come down onto our knees here in a moment, that we will actually have our knees on the mat. And I'll give you some tips about extra cushion for the knees if you need to. But from here, I'm going to fold forward, much like we were doing earlier. And then I'm going to come up onto the balls of my feet and release my knees down onto the mat. Now I'm actually on the sides of my knees here. I'm not on the kneecap itself. So if you're able to do that, please do that. If you feel like this is still too sensitive, you could bring a folded blanket underneath your knees. You could also just double your mat up to bring some cushion here. All right. Now, this is frog pose. So what's happening behind me is that the inside arches of my feet are resting on the ground straight out back from the knees themselves. So it looks like frog legs. I'm not sure if you can see that. There we go. Now, what's going to happen next, if there's not enough going on here, is you're going to come down onto your forearms. Good. My arms are just extended in front of me. I know I'm off screen now. And then ever so slightly, you're just going to take the hips back and you're going to hit a wall in your body and just stay at that wall. All right. Now, if you're not there already, I'll walk you through it. If you're there, just stay there. But off the back side of your mat, you'll have a wide leg stance. You'll fold forward and you'll walk your hands forward a little bit to the other side of your mat. Lift up onto the balls of the feet and release the sides of the knees as best you can to the floor and bring some cushion if you need it. The inside arches of the feet rest on the ground, and when you're ready, you can come down onto your forearms. Good. Now, you're not collapsing the chest here. The chest and the abdomen stay on the same plane, and then just move the hips back. And just breathe at that wall. You'll hit it, you'll see it, you'll feel it. It'll be there. It might bring some stuff up for you. That's okay. I just want you to stay here and breathe. And one of my favorite breaths actually to do in this pose, because it can be sometimes difficult, is called ujjayi, or the audible breath, or the breath of victory. And you can engage that by closing off the back of your throat just slightly to make your breath audible, sounding like a soft snore or like the ocean. This has a soothing effect to the nervous system. Because one thing I know about this pose from practicing for a long time and teaching it for a long time is that it can activate the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. But we know being in the pose and being here in yoga that we don't need to be in fight or flight. We know that we can relax. And so we're toning the nervous system by relaxing even when that activation comes up, just kind of encouraging ourselves to see that there's no danger here. There's discomfort here, but there's no danger. So we don't need that sympathetic response. We don't need that fight or flight freeze response. And so allow that audible breath to be there to soothe your nervous system, to pull your mind away from identifying with the experience and just watch the experience. We do hold this pose for a while, so you'll hit a wall a little bit. That's okay. Just another tip here, kind of helps when you're trying to stay in a pose like this, is that just be curious about it. I notice generally that when I'm doing my hips like this, when I'm stretching them like this, that the sensation comes in waves. There's moments of, we'll call it intensity, followed by moments of just a little less intensity. You're doing great. You're almost there. And then you get to a point in this pose where you're like, I'm actually not even sure how to come out of this anymore. So I will guide you through that. So just take a deeper, fuller breath to start. And take your time to be very gentle as you walk back up onto your hands. Now behind you, you're just going to slide the feet together and then carefully walk the knees closer to one another and then find yourself immediately in child's pose. You can just stay facing the way you're facing on your mat. You don't have to turn right now. And just go to child's pose. And what you'll notice when you get into child's pose is the pose is still happening. The sensation is still working at this point. So just stay with the feeling. Don't turn away from it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to counterpose just yet. We will do that in a moment. Notice the thoughts going through your mind. And they're just thoughts, rising and falling like waves on the ocean, neither significant or inauspicious. And then taking a deeper, fuller breath, carefully walk your hands back, coming up to a seat. Okay. All right. So we are going to counterpose that. We'll try to stay with the sensation as much as we can, of course. And we'll do some work on our backs next. So go ahead and come to lay down. Be gentle as you do that. Good. So once you are on your back, go ahead and bring your feet flat to the floor, heels underneath your knees, and the feet about hip width apart. Your arms can just relax down by your sides. We're going to work with bridge pose a little bit, again, to help with that counterposing. So with your next inhale, press the feet into the floor, lift the hips into the air, reaching your pelvis toward the ceiling. Exhale, release the hips down, but don't touch the ground. Just come right before you touch the ground, and then inhale, lift the hips back up again. Exhale, release. Again, just barely grazing the floor before you pick the hips up again. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep the feet flat on the ground the entire time. We're going to do a couple more rounds. Again, when the hips come down, they just barely touch the floor, if at all, keeping the core and the lower back engaged. Good. Last time. And then lift the hips up and stay. Again, pelvis pressing toward the ceiling, feet are on the ground. Relax your jaw and throat. Press up a little higher. And then exhale carefully with control. Release the hips back down to the floor. Take an adjusting breath. Good. Doing a little bit more work with bridge pose. We'll practice butterfly bridge. So bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly, knees falling wide, and have the pinky edge resting on the floor. Now you want your heels as close up toward your hips as you can manage. All right. Your arms stay down by your sides here. And then press the pinky edge of the feet into the floor. Inhale, lift the hips into butterfly bridge. Exhale, release down with control. We're gonna do this a few times, don't worry. Inhale, lift the hips back up. And as you come down, try to come down with the hips staying level. You might notice that it kind of gets shaky. Try to stabilize that. Inhale, coming up the same way. And exhale, with a stable core releasing down. Let's do a few more. Good. Inhale, lift the hips up, please. And keep the hips raised. Exhale, squeeze the knees together. The feet might fall apart, that's fine. Keep the hips raised, take the knees wide. Exhale, squeeze the knees together. Inhale, take the knees wide, keep the hips raised. Exhale, squeeze the knees together. Inhale, knees wide, you're almost there. Squeeze. Keep the hips lifting. Inhale wide. Exhale, squeeze knees together. Keep them together this time. Press the hips up a little higher. Keep squeezing, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Push up to your highest point. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, take the knees wide and release the hips down and straighten the legs and just feel for a few breaths. The hips, the legs, heat at the lower back, core. Good job. So go ahead and bring your feet flat to the floor again, prepping for bridge, but we're not going to do bridge. We just need a place to start. So from bridge prep, you're going to walk your feet away from your body about 6 inches, and then take your feet as wide apart as your yoga mat. Your arms can relax out to the sides here. With an inhale, drop your knees to the right, feel the left hip lift. With your exhale, ground your lower back to the floor and draw the knees back to center. Keep the knees mat width, or the feet, sorry, mat width apart. Then inhale, knees to the left, feel the right hip lift. Exhale, ground that right hip in the lower back, come back to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale back to center, and just keep going from side to side. Just feeling the legs loose. Again, up into the hip sockets. There's also this light stretch along the sides of the body, especially if you come into the full side stretch. Inhaling to a side, exhaling to center, moving at a pace that works for you and your breath. Almost there. Good. So go ahead and drop the knees to the right. The feet are still mat width apart. And then identify in your mind where your right ankle is. And then gently place your right ankle on top of your left thigh around the knee. Now, if this is too much, just bring the leg back to where it was. But if you're able to keep it here, keep it here. And just feel that stretch, kind of feeling the left leg kind of pull out of the hip a little bit more. There's one more adjustment we can make in this pose if you'd like to, and that's just take your left arm and sweep it up and overhead, knuckles on the floor, just creating more length on the left side of your body. You might even feel your left hip lift a bit more when you do that. And then sweep the left arm back down. Bring the right leg back down and come back to center. Take a moment in symmetry before we do the other side, kind of like a before and after shot. And then with the feet met width apart, we'll do the other side. So go ahead and drop the knees to the left. If you'd like to, you can take your left ankle and place it on top of your right thigh or knee, swaying that leg down and forward. And if you want to, you can take that right arm and sweep it up and overhead, knuckles on the floor above you. You might feel your right hip lift a bit more here, creating a stretch on the entire right side of the body. Breathe. Good. Bring the right arm back down again. Release the left leg and bring the knees back to center. Good. Go ahead and hug the knees into your chest. All right, with the knees still drawn in, take your arms out to the side, making a T shape with the body. You could also do cactus arms. Deep breath in. With your exhale, drop both knees to your left. Feel your right shoulder ground and turn your chin to the right. Your left hand could rest on top of your right thigh if you'd like. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and bring the knees back to center with an inhale. And let's do the other side. With an exhale, go ahead and drop the knees to the right. Feel your left arm and shoulder anchored down. Turn your chin to the left. And your right hand could rest on top of your left thigh here. Staying and breathing. Good. With your next inhale, carefully unwind. Hug your knees in. Curl your chin in towards your throat. Bring your forehead up toward the knees. Once you're up there, get a tighter grip on the legs or hold closer down towards your ankles. And once you have that tighter grip, release the shoulders and head back down and think about grounding your lower back to the floor. Good. When you feel complete in this pose, take your time as you extend the legs down to the floor, heels about mat width apart, arms resting out to the sides, palms face up. Just make any final adjustments to rest here comfortably on your back for a few minutes. And take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, maybe with a sigh. Feel your body resting here and your connection to the floor, that support beneath you. And we'll just do a similar contemplation that we did at the beginning of class. So just imagine as you inhale that you're drawing up that supportive, grounding energy from the earth and filling your body to the brim. And as you exhale, that energy flushes back out, taking with it any impurities, tension, or stress. Inhale, drawing in that support, filling your body up, flowing upwards. And exhale, flushing out. And just let that be a light contemplation as you continue to rest here in an effortless state of presence. Nothing to do, only to be. peace, peace, peace. Please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath, inviting in some gentle movement to your hands and feet, your arms and legs, gently bringing your body and awareness back. And gently rolling to your right side, coming up to a seat as you feel complete here. And so once you're in a seat, bring your palms together and bow your chin. And just honor yourself for the work you've done here tonight. The will to show up and the will to participate to the level that you could. And may all of that effort and this practice continue to serve you. So until we meet again, namaste.